This week in news surrounding Israel, top aide to Khomeini boasts Iran has technical ability to manufacture a nuclear bomb. That's the headline. Stay tuned for all the details. Well, shalom, everyone. Welcome once again to this week's newscast. I'm Robert Gottslig, your host. And on July 17th, the Times of Israel reported that a top aide to Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khomeini said Sunday that his country has the ability to produce a nuclear weapon, but is choosing not to do so. Kamal Kaharzi, the head of Iran's Strategic Council on Foreign Relations, told Al Jazeera's Arabic channel, "It is no secret that we have the technical capabilities to manufacture a nuclear bomb, but we have no decision to do so. In a few days, we were able to enrich uranium up to 60%, and we can easily produce 90% enriched uranium." Well, if you have no intentions or plans to build a nuclear bomb, what in the world are you enriching uranium to 60%? Because really only 5% is required to generate power for peaceful means in a nuclear reactor. And since, friends, Iran has began its nuclear program in the late 1950s, they have always stated that it was for peaceful means. However, especially in the last few years, friends, they clearly are not telling the truth. Because since 2018, as the U.S., under the former administration, withdrew from the flawed JCPA that was signed in 2015, Iran has increased its stockpile of 5% enriched uranium. And they have resumed producing 20% enriched uranium, and now have produced 60% enriched uranium, and say they have the capabilities to produce up to 90% enriched uranium, which is required for a nuclear weapon. And they've resumed enrichment in their Fordo underground facility, complete with advanced centrifuges. And not only that, but Iran has also restricted the international monitoring of its nuclear facilities. And as I reported a month ago, they've even disabled the cameras that were used to monitor their actions. And all the while, friends, Israel and the U.S. have vowed that they will not allow Iran to acquire a nuclear bomb. But friends, it seems that Iran may now very well achieve what they've been wanting to do. And they're saying that, hey, we can produce it anytime we want. It's just a matter of whether we choose to or not. Thus, Israel now, we see, has been training and preparing for a response with or without the U.S., even though President Biden and Prime Minister Yair Lapid, they signed the Jerusalem Declaration just a few days ago on July 14th, which reaffirmed the U.S.'s position of never allowing Iran to acquire a nuclear weapon. And I think, though, friends, that Israel has learned a valuable lesson from the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And the lesson is that you need to look after yourself and protect yourself and not rely on others to come to your aid. But the trouble is that Israel is weak with Yair Lapid as the interim prime minister, and he will be the interim PM until a new prime minister can be elected when Israelis head back to the polls in November. And friends, Israel's enemies know that, as Kaharzi points out by saying that Israel is in a phase of weakness, and U.S. President Joe Biden's support for it will not bring it back to the fore. So, friends, will Iran finalize their attempts to build a nuke to try to wipe Israel off the face of the map? Or will Iran give the green light to its proxies in Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, Gaza, and Yemen to attack Israel? Not sure, friends. Time will tell. But one thing is for sure. As Psalm 121 verse 4 says, when the God of Israel says this, he says, "Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep." And so watch out, Iran, because God has promised that he will bless those that bless the Jewish people, and he will curse those that curse them. And with that, friends, and until next time, thanks for joining us on another episode of In News Surrounding Israel. God bless.